Hello, my little readers, and welcome to the holiday season of Storytime with Hannah and Patrick.
This week we will be reading Selah's Gift to Father Christmas, written by Jeanelle Brew, illustrated by Sarah Jane Docker, by Bryan House Publishing. So are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Then let's begin. It was 3 days before Christmas, and the city's narrow streets felt extremely snug as Selah and her mum wiggled through them. They snaked in between loved-up couples, shimmied through groups of chatty friends, bumped into solo wanderers, and sighed behind slow strollers. It felt like they were navigating a Christmas-themed maze, or playing a game of bumper cars, or... Selah blinked away the rest of her thoughts. Focus, she told herself, as she looked up at her mother's determined glare. Selah reminded herself that this trip was not a game, but rather serious business. They were on a very important mission. She swung her arms and mirrored her mother's giant strides. They were on the hunt to find the perfect gift for Father Christmas. The front door flew open, letting in a cool draft and 2 flushed faces.
How is Father Christmas going to get a present if the shops don't have anything? Selah wailed as she stepped into the warm, cosy flat. Well, that wasn't exactly true. The shops had many things, but none of them were quite right for Father Christmas, who deserved something grand yet subtle, delicate yet durable, practical yet precious. This mysterious something had Selah and her mother searching all morning and all afternoon. Selah really wanted to make sure Father Christmas felt special on Christmas too, just like everyone else. Her father made a gentle suggestion. How about we don't buy anything for him? Beside him, Selah's mother nodded eagerly. Selah frowned. They didn't understand, and as she opened her mouth to explain, her father continued. Perhaps we could make him something instead. She hadn't quite thought of that. After a moment, she replied, "Okay, I'll make him something." Her mother let out a long sigh of relief, sank into the soft, soothing sofa and rubbed her aching feet. Selah began pacing up and down the corridor, also known as her thinking spot, with a finger to her lips. Can Ezra, Doyen and Aston come over tomorrow and help? Selah wasn't great at arts and crafts, but her best friends were, and she needed all the talent she could find. Her mother nodded vigorously. She would have agreed to having the entire estate in her home if it meant reducing the chances of another busy shopping trip. The next day, Selah's room was transformed into a magical workroom dusted with glitter, tissue paper, felt tips, glue sticks, and wrapping paper. The children hummed and laughed their way through the morning as they worked. Every so often, Selah's parents would poke their heads around the door to have a nosy at what the mysterious piece of art was. Each time they were met with a chorus of, "No, not yet!" "OK," said Doyen. "I think we're done." With a very big smile, Aston joined in. "I think he's going to love this, Selah." "Yeah, you really think so?" "Yes." They were used to Selah and her endless worries and triple checks. "I'd be so happy if I got this as a Christmas present. I wouldn't even ask for anything for my birthday," Ezra said earnestly.
That was a huge statement, as Ezra tended to be quite fussy when it came to gifts and changed his mind all the time. He'd write a list of dream presents months before his birthday, but nearly always scribbled every item out as he changed his mind. He would decide that they were too babyish, too loud, too messy, too boring, or just too something. The kids took a step back to admire their masterpiece. Satisfied with what they saw, they raced into the front room to play with Ezra's new puzzle as a reward. After the children left, and long after Selah had fallen asleep and the flat was returned to its tidy state, her parents decided to have a look at Father Christmas's surprise. They were curious about what the children's creative minds had come up with. Their grins disappeared just as quickly as snow settling on grit. "Oh my!" Selah's mother whispered as she grabbed onto her husband's arm, who then proceeded to stifle the onset of giggles that her reaction brought about. She shot him a look as she took small steps towards the moving box. She eyed the pierced holes that decorated the top of the sticky, tissue-papered box with suspicion. As if aware of its audience, the box began to sway even more. Selah's mum waved over her giggling husband, who seemed to be stuck by the doorway. "On 3. 1, 2, 3. The pair lifted the lid and almost toppled over as Missy, the family kitten, charged out of the sticky box. Missy dashed straight towards the kitchen until she was at a safe enough distance to shoot glares and hisses at her owners. The poor kitten had on a wonky reindeer-inspired headband, and a ribbon was tied as a messy bow around her tail, with a note attached. "Oh, poor Missy," Selah's dad sighed. "Merry Christmas. Here's Missy. She's one of my best friends, and I wanted to give her to you because she makes me so happy, and I know she'll make you happy too. I hope you love her, and the antlers aren't real. She's actually a baby cat. My friends and I thought Missy could help the other reindeers pull your sleigh, as she's really strong and loves pulling on Daddy's shoelaces. She also loves to snuggle and snores at bedtime. We hope you don't mind. Lots of love, Selah. Kiss, 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 kiss." The next morning, Selah charged into her parents' room with a frown. "Why did you open Father Christmas's gift? Now he doesn't have a present and Christmas is tomorrow." Missy purred in agreement behind her, forgetting that she had been the gift despite her antlers drooping across her face. "He did it!" Selah's mum blurted, trying to shift the blame to her dad. The tension during breakfast was unbearable. Selah slurped her cereal grumpily. She was still very upset. She had one day left until the big day, and she still didn't have anything to give Father Christmas. "Okay, Selah, we're really sorry about opening Father Christmas's present," her mum said for the 10th time that morning. "But it wasn't an appropriate gift. However, we were thinking we could give him something even better." Selah sighed. "What's better than a cute, cuddly kitten?" On cue, Missy strutted, parading her cute, cuddly self. "Not a lot, you're right," her dad said, stroking a purring Missy. "We could visit your favourite stall at the market for some inspiration. Once we've been forgiven, of course." Suddenly, she was all ears. "Aunt Equa's bead and fabric stall?" Her parents nodded,
equally excited and relieved. Maybe make Father Christmas a few beaded bracelets, similar to the ones she got you from Ghana. I know you wanted to give him something special to you, and we could make him a couple together as a family. What do you think? It'll be fun, her mum said as she gently brushed bits of cereal from Selah's chin. And we could buy one of the beautiful hand-painted cards she has, and you can write him another lovely note. The family, wrapped in thick scarves and woolly hats, and embraced by the puffiest of puffers, huddled by the door and made a game plan. We're going to make the best of this trip, Selah's dad declared. Our day won't be wasted, her mother added. And we'll get the best gift for Father Christmas, Selah cheered. The trio sealed the deal with their secret handshake. Although it wasn't so secret anymore. Selah had shown it to Jennifer, who then showed Lipfin, and very soon it had become the secret handshake of the whole of Year 3. They walked briskly towards the vibrant market, and despite it being Christmas Eve, the streets appeared surprisingly empty. Selah's mother whispered a quick "thank you" towards the heavens, extremely grateful to walk without having to wade through the large crowds of shoppers that Christmas often attracts. Selah led the way to Auntie Ekwa's colourful stall. She wasn't actually her auntie, but it was what everyone who lived locally called her. Auntie Ekwa had the best beads Selah had ever seen. Every week she'd restock with new beads, brighter and prettier than the ones before, with different shapes and patterns. Her stall was like a little slice of Ghana. Her parents stood back as Selah inspected and hummed her way through the little stall. She only turned around to see if they had heard Auntie Ekwa give her yet another compliment. Take a picture and show me next week. I'm sure Father Christmas will love it, Auntie Ekwa said as she handed Selah a bag full of beautiful beads. Oh, and one more thing. She handed Selah a Christmas card with a hand-painted illustration of Selah and Missy on the front. Surprise, her dad beamed. I called Auntie Ekwa last night and explained the situation, and she said she had just the thing. Selah ran around the table to give Auntie Ekwa a big hug. Thank you. It's the best drawing in the world, by the best artist in the whole wide world. Gathered around the kitchen table, the little family had a system going. Missy passed the ball of elastic to Selah, sometimes getting distracted by its loose ends. Selah and her dad placed the beads onto the strings, and her mum cut the string and tied up the knots. Together with Stevie Wonder blaring in the background, the family created a variety of beautiful beaded bracelets for Father Christmas. He wouldn't run out of bracelets for a long, long while. They baked him some cookies, because Selah thought he'd be peckish after all his hard work delivering presents to the neighbourhood, and also because she loved the taste of cookie dough. Finally, they were done, and after a round of high fives, hugs, yawns and stretches, Selah and her parents headed to their bedrooms. They had had the best day bracelet making, baking and card writing, but they were also extremely worn out. It had been a very long day. Selah was so sleepy that she forgot all about staying up to watch Father Christmas open his gift. She fell asleep as soon as her head touched her pillow. Selah slept so deeply, she missed the familiar sound of the jingle bells. She missed the beloved deep chuckle. Ho, ho, ho. As she softly snored away, someone was tiptoeing around the flat. A tall, chubby figure, dressed all in red and white, found the plate of cookies and beamed with delight. It was just what he needed after delivering presents all night long. While easing into the snuggly sofa, a beautiful card and a creatively wrapped up present caught his eye. Even better, they were both addressed to him. Father Christmas smiled from ear to ear as he read the card and unwrapped his gift. He slipped on the bracelets and felt a warm glow inside. He hadn't had such a nice surprise in years. Wiping his eyes, he heard a soft purr behind him. While Selah slept on, Missy curled around the friendly giant. With presents for Selah left by the tree, Father Christmas readied himself to leave. But just before going back out into the night, he whispered quietly, "Thank you, Selah, for the perfect gift." The end.
Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe to our channel to be the first to find out when our next story is live. We'll see you very soon. Bye-bye, and happy holidays.